I think we are live. If we are, just quickly let me know in the chat box by writing like, yep, you're live or something like that. I see John says, what's good? Did you say that before or are we live? Let me just quickly double check. And the reason I double check is because YouTube sometimes is a bit glitchy. I do not want to start the whole broadcast without being live, obviously. So let me quickly wait a second for that, for somebody to hop on in and say, yep, you're on. And then we'll get started with the interesting news. Because today, long story short, has been an interesting day. But I'm going to quickly wait for somebody to pop out and say, yep, we are live. Let's give it just a second. All right, Steve says, go. Writing says, yo, champ. So I guess we're good to go. All right, lads. Today has been a very interesting day for crypto. It's been falling after falling after falling. Some of my positions got absolutely ruined. Why? Because I kind of forgot to check up on them. And what I mean with that is some of them, right? A little while back, I opened up on platforms I don't check every single day. And the reason they got wrecked is because, well, back then I did not expect Bitcoin to go to $81,000. I did expect ETH to get a massive crash going, but realized that this is like 40% down from the heights, right? And it's actually 40% down in a month as well. Of course, for Bitcoin, it can happen. We realize that. We're seeing it right now. But still, anyway, you live, you learn. Now, I am just going to quickly put out there and state, if you're really wondering what's going on with crypto, I want y'all to realize that a very big part of what exactly is making this all happen is just equities. So you're looking at your crypto coins thinking, damn, why is it crashing so much? I don't. Am I loving it? No. But I do realize the S&P went down 1.5% yesterday. Now, you got to realize also that whenever it goes down this much money, the amount of money that it goes down is basically is like crypto numbers. It's like an entirety of a crypto market cap. Over the past 5 days, just yesterday we saw a slight little bubble, but afterwards we also saw the S&P pop again. Over the past month, you can see we're also down tremendously on the S&P. Now, again, relatively, it's not as much, going 3% down versus, going down 40% or so. But you can see that this is also where we're stating for a while that it's getting closer and closer towards a sort of top. We are seeing it right now, though, 65.38, back down from about 6,900 or so. And you can see some of the articles, S&P, NASDAQ futures under pressure as tech sell-off continues. Stock market today, Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ sink as worries on AI and U.S. economy hit markets before NVIDIA earnings. And remember, guys, what was basically the most trending were two pieces. One, it is the whole NVIDIA earnings, which turned out to be a good idea, but every single time turned bullish for crypto. And I'm going to, actually three things. With that, the AI boom, so let's call that thing number two. And then with number three, it being whatever is going on in the U.S. economy. Why are they not going to cut the rates anymore over in December? Why is that all of a sudden becoming a big thing? Everything is, of course, affecting the market, but it's a bit late, right? We turned bearish just a few days ago. I mean, it's obviously way too late. Let's just speak it like that. And I'm going to share with you something very shortly here with regards to strategy, because, boys, things are bad. Things are bad. I mean, most likely for a lot of y'all, it's not as bad. I mean, here, for example, we have a good trader. In just 10 days, over $61 million of profit had vanished. The anti-CZ whale became known for shorting right after CZ bought Aster. 10 days ago, his total profit on Hyperliquid was nearly $100 million. But as the market dumped, his large ETH and XRP longs dragged him down hard, with his total profit now dropping to 38 mil. Still good, right? He's still up 38 mil, but realize this is just like White Whale earlier, where he went from almost up $100 million to basically negative a few million. And here we have, of course, as well, this whale, after being up nearly 100 million, now down $60 million from that top, just 10 days. Just 10 days. Anyway, so there's a few more things. I want to quickly state here, if you're wondering for the reason why we crashed, let me break it down in a few pieces. Reason number one, there was some manipulation going on a very large crypto exchange. And I don't want to name the exchange. I don't want to name too deeply, but there was an issue with a stablecoin, internal issue, caused the stablecoin to go down significantly in price. This is on the 10th of the 10th, together with some new change in these things called like altcoin insurances. It was a combined thing of just not being able to sustain prices. Now, let's just say it like this. I think still there was mostly a manipulation effort from the Trump guys as well, because why would the market go down so hard based on this idea of Chinese tariffs? But then again, if you counter that whole Chinese news narrative, well, the price dropped a few percent based on that news, then actually went sideways and then dropped significantly like an hour after. Why was that? Potentially because of what I just mentioned. Now, that's only one part of the broader story. And the reason I'm saying that is because whatever happened on the 10th of the 10th, it's a big deal for crypto. But in reality, even though the liquidations were 10 times as much, why does that keep going on then? Right? Why can we keep continuing to go down and down and down almost every single one of these days? Why does it just keep happening? And what I think, it's part to do with emotion. Connor Kenny put it up here in an interesting manner. He said, push Bitcoin down to where everyone thinks it's the bottom, so they buy. Push it down more, so they buy the dip. Push it down more, so they buy again. Down one more, so they think maybe it is over. One more time down, so they go, okay, one last down and it's over. Down again, so they set at a loss. And down again, so they say, see, I was right. Down again, so they start to short. Down again, they 10x the short. Down again, they say, I'm a genius, I knew it. The market pumps, they add leverage to the short. Pump again, time for a 100x short, liquidation, rinse, repeat. Where in the cycle are we now? And that's the thing. I honestly really believe in this one principle. If you're bullish or you're bearish, stick with your narrative. And why I'm saying that is because if you're shorting, depending on where you're shorting at, if you've got some long breath and your leverage is not that high, there's a very good chance you'll be able to flip it into profit at some point. If you're longing, since I do believe the crypto space is continuing up for at least a very long time in the near future, theoretically speaking, all you got to do is just not give up and you should be okay, unless crypto goes to absolute zero. And by that logic, there is one warning I've got for you. And the warning, this is actually a really big warning as well. By the way, lads, if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press the like button on the stream. We had about 250 people watching. We've got 22 likes pressed. Make sure you press that button. And I kind of feel sad, scared, and whatever to show you this, but you need to know. And that is that I always say crypto ain't going to zero, right? I really honestly, with the bottom of my heart, do believe that. And I always say we're closer towards that deep bottom than towards the top for this cycle, most likely. But there's a few more things that have happened the past couple of days. I see now somebody in the chat saying this whole quantum computer situation from Vitalik. I don't think that's that big a deal, realistically. What I do think is potentially quite a big deal. I'm a little bit scared to show you because it's an interesting one. Actually, matter of fact, I'm going to take a little second. Make sure you guys press that like button and let me show you this. Just beforehand. This is, by the way, our Telegram. The first link in the description below of this stream, you see a little link that says join my Telegram group, right? So if you've not seen it yet, here's some of the results that people have been sharing of the Telegram group and the trades we've been making. Thus far, most of the things shared in here I think have been absolutely crazy good. Here's, for example, all the trades that were shared yesterday. Sui, unfortunately, stop loss got hit, so minus 25% on that trade. Up, in this case here, choice, but regardless, break even, so 0%. ADA, nice short, 129% profit. XRP, nice profit, 46.3%. Sui, 83.6%, and Optimism again, 82.7%. Here's the thing, right? Throughout time, and this is a very, very crucial piece, things are bound to be profitable. But on the short term, sometimes things are a little bit awkward. Regardless, though, here you can see we had another op trade. Within 1 hour, we were 40% in the profit. ZK here within 1 hour, or 20 minutes actually, profit. ZK again, target 2 within 27 minutes. You can see all this is completely free for anybody to take a look at, anybody to join. You can find it. The first link in the description down below. It's pretty nice, so I recommend you guys to check it out at least. Not your financial advisor, but these are interesting things to at least take a look at. Okay, so here we go. Right now, all eyes on Michael Saylor. All eyes on them. Somebody says, Dusty, did you sleep in your new cardboard box? Yep, I'll show you a little demonstration. This is the demo version of my new home. The new proper home is situationed outside, obviously, but I did find a little showcase piece. This is the one that when I went to the dealer, right, to get myself a proper new living box, they always give you like a nice little sample, right? So, of course, I had to try it out with just like a neck pillow version, meaning I tried this out to see if I really like the ambiance, see if I like the feel of the cardboard and stuff like that. And once I decided, yeah, I do, I decided to get myself the full version. So if you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, I've decided to upgrade my home. This is, of course, is like an office, right? But my home has been upgraded card box style. So I live really comfortably, tiny home space, really comfortable on the rent and everything like that. Really, really good rates. And this is just the one that I had for like my headpiece and stuff like that. So yeah, Cardboard box living. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Regardless, all eyes right now, ladies and gentlemen, are MicroStrategy. Am I turning bearish? No. Screw all of you. I don't care whoever in this chat is pushing me to sell my coin. Screw you. Screw your whole family. I'm not selling any freaking coin. I don't care what nobody says. Nobody in this world can make me sell my crypto. Nobody. Ain't nothing you can do. I'll ride my ship all the way freaking down to absolute zero. Matter of fact, I'll ride this ship down to minus. I don't care what happens. I'm sticking with this one. Like I said earlier, you got to have conviction to a certain side, and I'm on the bullish side. And that does not mean I can't think of any new crashes in the near term. No, I can think of some. But realistically, over prolonged periods of time, I've decided to stick with this industry. I believe it. It makes sense. I mean, we'll talk about that. You know what? Before I actually talk about the MicroStrategy situation, I will quickly show Flood's post here. Let's quickly see that one, and then we continue on. He said, it feels very tough to see this as capitulation due to the fact that so many funds are in profit heading into the end of the year. There's little incentive to knife catch plus step in front of this relentless selling and potentially give back carry. Crypto feels like we're approaching a near-term bottom, but equities, who knows? And recently here, every single time equities fell, cryptos also fell. So even though regardless of what crypto bottom feels like, I don't know. It feels like every single time the S&P falls, cryptos fall even more. So what's that for that, huh? Anyway, let's quickly cover this MicroStrategy situation. All eyes on MicroStrategy. Franco says you should never fall in love with an investment. Never. Do I agree with that? Let me eat a piece of mango. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. So what he's saying right now is you should never fall in love with an investment. Never. I kind of counter that by saying, you know, I don't really have the emotion of falling in love with it, but I'm going to call it you really still believe in something that most people don't believe in. Essentially, buying a dip is convincing yourself that what people are selling off right now, more so than they're buying, is actually worth more. So we can kind of skedaddle around this word love for a little bit, but think about it from this angle. If you do not believe in a little bit of a crazy manner, why would you ever buy a dip? Remember, buying a dip basically means that the trend on the short term has changed. People are more so thinking of selling it rather than buying it. And you're the person that says, you know what? I think what's currently happening is wrong. I think this is mispriced. I think it should go up more. And potentially that may take some time. Potentially there may be further loss because, again, you're going against the trend, which usually you should not do, right? You go with the trend is your friend. Do we call that love, or where do we call this? Or from an opposite side, just the fact that markets are crashing like crazy right now. Everybody's panicking, and you decide to not panic, and you decide to buy whenever there's blood in the streets. Is that because you love the investment, or because you think it's mispriced and people are overselling it? I don't know. I feel like it's just you believe in something and you go after it, and you take whatever you can get. So let's quickly talk about this, though. All eyes on MicroStrategy. Guys, make sure you press that like button if you haven't done it yet. This is the most important piece for today, all right? I'm telling you right now, this is, out of everything crypto-related, most important. MicroStrategy is now down 40% over the last month and 70% from its record high. They now hold 650,000 BTC at an average price of $74,000. In other words, if Bitcoin falls another 15%, MicroStrategy's position will turn red. And the question now becomes, can Saylor keep on buying? And the reason this is a pretty big deal is because after this came out, not necessarily the article, but the idea of MicroStrategy's price getting close to break even, all of a sudden, all these new FUD and scaredy pieces are coming out. Kay here says MicroStrategy could be removed from the NASDAQ 100 due to massive losses in the past 1 to 2 months. Strategy could be removed from NASDAQ by January 2026. If that happens, a massive outflow will happen for MicroStrategy stock, and it'll definitely impact BTC coming from Wu blockchain. Or a little bit before that, it's just, man, first of all, he's losing a ton of freaking money, right? But on the opposite side, not their first rodeo. Apparently, MicroStrategy went from $330 to 33 cents in 2000. They lost $6 billion in a day. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, to be honest. And here, emergency stream. This is from Ran from Crypto Banter. The 10th of October was not a coincidence. Bitcoin is breaking key levels again, and MicroStrategy is suddenly under real market pressure. This is very much true. live on Crypto Insider, breaking down the signal. Let's see, breaking down the signal behind this sell-off and what it means for crypto. To be honest, he's not going to tell you anything you did not know already. If you've been watching the stream thus far by now, you already know every single part of this, except for the idea that potentially, they can get excluded from the NASDAQ, something along those lines. But we also just covered that in detail. Not in detail, but we covered that. This, however, I'm going to tell you right now, these type of posts are mostly just to gain your attention, not because it's really something necessarily going on. And I think that to some extent as well, this may cause people to sell off something they did not necessarily want to sell because it sounds so heavy. Anyway, let's quickly go through it because I have a lot of news coming up, but I quickly want to see what you guys are saying. 303 says there's no bullish narrative for anything now. Out of time in the cycle and tons of FUD. Game over now? Well, that part. That just like I showed you now with Connor's post. Let's quickly go back to it. Let me quickly find it here. Where is Connor's post? Here we go. That if we're saying now no bullish narrative, no nothing, how quickly that changes if the market actually turns around? Right now, for some reason, everybody is super, super bearish. But that's also because things have broken down, right? The thing is, most people did not flip bearish, Pico top. And even here, even if you flipped bearish a while back, there's a good chance still that in the end, unless you're cashing out that profit nearly instantly, you're still going to end up losing in the end. Regardless, I want to quickly ask a question. Out of the chat box here, how many of you guys are bullish? How many of you guys are bearish? Right now, we've got about 300 people watching, about 50 likes pressed. If you've not pressed that like button yet, I'm going to keep asking you. I know, it's begging, e-begging, all right? I'm like a little online freaking hooker from a certain angle. But if you've not done it yet, or not a hooker, I guess. I mean, yeah, you're tipping me with your likes. Oh, and it's doing me good, all right? That's what I'm streaming for. I'm fiending for it. Make sure you press that button. We've got about a 1-in-6 ratio. We need to get this up a little bit better, all right? Feed my addiction, brothers and sisters, all right? Otherwise, I can't go to bed happily, lad, later this night. I need it. But I'm asking the question, out of everybody watching here, how many of y'all are bullish and how many of y'all are bearish? Let me quickly see if I can make a poll over this as well. Let's do it like this. Bro needs likes to buy the dip. Yep. Likes don't actually generate me any money, but it does generate me, happiness points. Which, in a market like this, I'll take any happiness point I can get, right? Oh, my days, man. This market. Hey, TJ, welcome back. You want it? You get it? You know I got it. Man, long time no see, TJ. Did you change accounts? I thought you were... let's see. We got Cho saying bull or I wouldn't be in it. Fair. What else we got? Bullish. Cyberhawks is bearish at the moment. Bro needs to like the body dip. Yeah, bearish, bullish, bull. So, you see, this is also funny. If I had done this poll just last week, matter of fact, I did do it a few days ago, relatively, there were a lot more people on the bullish side. And that shifts over really, really quickly. The lower it goes, the more this number also changes. And here's, in my opinion, the kicker. It should be the opposite way around. We covered it previously with the book, The Intelligent Investor, where the lower that prices go, the more bullish people should be getting. Essentially, unless you're thinking it's going to real like 30Ks or zero, even if you think we're going to 63,000, I think even at that point, you should be more bullish than bearish because the downside is what? Let's say 15, 20%, whereas the upside, going back to the highs, is what? 50%, 70%, 80%? Father Boy says, most bullish. Are you surprised, Dusty? Not necessarily. I'm not really that surprised. At the end of the day, there's a big difference between a short-term bear, thinking another little shakeout may be happening, which I can definitely stand behind because stocks are just in a garbage place right now, versus being a longer-term bear. And I just mostly think of long-term accumulation. I don't really care as much for all this short-term volatility. And I realize that if throughout all because I've been here for 8 years, right? Every single day making videos. Soon 9 years. I've been here for 8.5 years, matter of fact. Every single day. You know one thing, ladies and gents, that I'll tell you right now. 8.5 years. If you had consistently, throughout every single time they tell you to sell, just told them, hey, shut the frick up, I'm going to buy my things, you would have done so freaking well. It's only that on the short term, you may not be looking too nice, and that if other people are talking about it, you may not be able to enjoy the conversation. But in the end, I think the people that do hold on to freaking dear life, or hold on for dear freaking life, they end up winning. And nobody said it was going to be easy, but I do believe that is the truth. So my team just posted over on X. Let me take a look at this. I see a nice little tweet just came out. We talked about this earlier. This has officially been the worst November for Bitcoin since 2018. Even the NASDAQ and S&P are seeing their worst Novembers since 2008. Time to start filling out the McDonald's job applications. Yeah, I made a little short about it yesterday. Are you flirting in my chat? This is a crypto chat. My brother, this is a crypto chat. No flirting unless you're flirting with an altcoin. I'm exposing you right here, right? Because this is happening in my presence. Do so when I'm not watching. I want to see you talk about your coins. Don't talk about love. Makes me think of somebody crashing out like that. Makes me always think of BitBoy. You know how much I sacrificed? What? No, that's the different one. That's the what did BitBoy say? What was his thing? Do I have your attention now? Thought so. What's the other one then? Oh, that's from that when he loses his company, huh? I remember that. Oh yeah, here we go.
But you can't do this to me. I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
That's the one. So I forgot. I thought it was BitBoy for a second, but no, BitBoy is the other one. Dusty, my college tuition gone, I think. Gone. Can I live in the cardboard box with you? No, brother. Nobody can live in my cardboard box with me. I could get you a new one, though. I mean, because remember this. I designed this cardboard box specifically for efficiency and price efficiency. So there's not like two spots or anything like that. I mean, if you want to sit down, I could probably get you a nice little spot. But, proper living? No. But, maybe we can actually set up a nice little cardboard box camp for all of us. Yeah, screw you, friend. All right? You're good, but you're not that good, all right? We're not sleeping in the same freaking cardboard box. Get your own. Right? I had to grind for this. You had to grind for it. Screw you. Every man for himself. Sharing my cardboard box. Who do you think you are, huh? Who do you think you are? Get your own. Nobody's welcome in mine. Matter of fact, I'm changing my mind. No, you're not even welcome to sit anymore. You've just pissed me off. Oh, man. What a change from last month. Everything was so interesting until the 10th of the 10th. Just 2 days before, we saw a new high. And all of a sudden now we're talking about living in a cardboard box, getting a cardboard box girlfriend, sharing the freaking scraps together that the people who short the market are taking. Oh, Jose says, you think this is funny? So let's say you just had your worst day in many, many months. Let's say you are, let's see here. Let's grab a few here just to pinpoint it. Because you're asking me, you think this is funny? Let's say you're this guy. You just lost $61 million in 10 days. Let's say you're me. You're losing millions of dollars every single day, it feels like. What else can you do? I can take action, which is what I'm doing. You can make a funny video, which is what I'm doing because I love that. You can go to McDonald's, file out an application, okay. And you can cry or laugh. And I decided crying ain't for me. We're laughing about it. So Jose says, everyone's lost lots of money. You think this is funny? What else you going to do, my brother? I've been here for too many years to be sitting in a corner crying over an investment going down. We can all be pissed off that this is getting manipulated, sure. But I think if you don't make a joke out of it, you're going to really eat yourself up. And I can literally go to $0. From millions upon millions of dollars to $0. And I'll still be right here making cracking jokes, talking about my freaking new cardboard box, talking about the freaking whatever. Because, man, if you get too serious about all these things, first of all, you'll never take enough risk to make major amounts of money. And on the opposite side, you just get a sad smoothie, achieving nothing. So, yeah, I mean, if you can't take, oh, wait, that's a nice one. If you can't take the loss, you're not worth the rich. Well, that's easier said than done because being rich was really, really nice. Right now, being poor again. Okay, not poor. Okay, let's stop. Let's go too far. getting broke again. It's definitely not lovely. All right, let's put it like that. But like Fiscal Badger says, it's only money. And what I always say is if you're able to make it once, you'll make it again. And this, essentially, what we're seeing right now is just a little test of patience. But I do believe that in exactly 1 year from now, we'll laugh at everything that happened just now. We'll laugh at how low we went. Because I remember, guys, I've been here for a long-ass time. Remember last time when Eric Trump says, buy ETH, and then ETH went from 3,400 to 1,500? That was like a few months ago. It's not like I've forgotten about that. Right now, this is carnage in the markets. Absolute carnage. This is making you want to slap your freaking wife back into your... Okay. Oh. My words are getting a bit too harsh today. You know, there's a line between funny and going a bit too far. Slap your wife? Never slap your wife, ladies and gents. Unless she's done something terrible. No, I'm joking. Don't do that. All right. Yeah, this is bloodbath territory, brothers and sisters. 10% down on BTC, 11% down on ETH. But the 10% down on BTC is the one that really caught me off guard. That's why I told you before at the start of the stream. One of my positions actually got wrecked because I was not paying attention. But I'm not so sure how much money. I tried to check it out, but I don't know where to find the history. I know it was like I don't know how much money I put in. Maybe only $40,000, something like that. Maybe it's nothing too bad. But I got to keep updating all my freaking exchanges because it's been too many platforms to have money on right now. And I'm starting to lose track. And since it's only negative every single time I look, I'm also not having the most fun time looking at these things. Okay, so here my liquidation price is $22,000 at BTC. That's good. My ETH liquidation is $2,300. I need to actually add more money to make sure this does not happen. Okay. That one, man. What a day for the crypto market, huh? So am I having a good time? No, I'm not. Do I realize that this is all part of a greater good? Yep, I do. But no, nobody said it was going to be fun throughout the process. Nobody said that. And as we can all clearly see, it is not. Now, one more thing I'll say, though, is, you know, the amount of people who say, I'll see you in a few years, I'll see you, blah, blah, blah. You do realize that even, let's say 4-year cycle is not dead. Let's say the 4-year cycle sticks. That basically means that right now we are about, let's say, 10 weeks into bear market territory, maybe more, depending on what you say the top was. So let's say we are 8 weeks into bear market territory, 2 months. That means we've got like a few more months until peak bottom. Or let's just say a few more weeks, maybe even now, for a local bottom where a big bounce comes up. A few more months from the actual proper bottom, which nobody knows exactly where it's going to be. And then up again, meaning that most likely will be at the exact same price we're at right now, or at least in break even again or profit, in probably like maybe 6 to 9 or maybe a year, let's say. So when somebody says see you in 4 years, you're talking about 4 years until we get back to bear market territory then, because the cycle is 4 years. And if we've broken the 4-year cycle, you realize that we've not seen a crazy alt surge yet. I still think it's yet to flow this year. It still makes too much sense. And all we have to do is just stick around and wait for it to occur while they shake the majority of people out. Anyway, so there's an interesting point here. 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏 says, I heard someone say, and I think he's right, with the ETF's money gets stuck and people are not rotating their Bitcoin into alts. That's cool and all, but why is Bitcoin going down this much, right? I'm going to say that right now. A part of it also, I'm going to say the biggest part is the S&P going down, of which the biggest part, again, is no rate cuts and uncertainty in the markets over the AI bubble. Again, remember, though, we are seeing record-breaking liquidations all across the board, breaking it freaking every single day, which all came after the 10th of the 10th when the liquidity issues started. Jim Cramer coming in with a, don't get me wrong, I think the market is wrong to punish the hyperscalers and NVIDIA, but that's what yesterday was about. That and the inability to stem the crypto losses because of all the leverage and no presidential pardon for the buyers. Loma says that 85 to 81K move was the acceleration. Someone got forced out or carried out. The immediate bounce is then 81 to 83. The short-term bounce would probably be 83 to 88 with the assumption that today's low holds. And that means that we don't actually go to 79,000. By the way, my worst case scenario for the market, remember, where basically my buys are set on, is really, really funny. It's 77K. And at first, that seemed kind of unbelievable that I would actually get to buy Bitcoin at 77. But the lower the prices go, the more and more close and the more likely that feels, which is funny about markets. Short-term balance would probably be like 83 to 88K with the assumption that today's low holds. If it doesn't, we've disgraced our entire lineage. If it does hold, congrats. You made magic internet money by pressing buttons. So the thoughts are enter 82 to 83K, look for 88 to 87 to 88K, and close if today's low doesn't hold. Can apply the same logic to alts. Deepak says, you think stocks will sell out? Stocks will sell out and cause further downside. So some of the best traders that I know, so there's a few that I always think are quite interesting to watch. There's 3, but let me just show you 2 of them because I think 2 of them have an interesting opinion right now. So there's two of my most respected traders who have publicly made at least, I don't know if it's hundreds of, but at least tens of millions of dollars publicly by being right. Again, there's a difference between making a lot of money and being publicly right and being the top trader on platforms or being involved in that system in a different way. So here's, for example, 𝗕𝗫'𝘀, a friend of mine who was publicly known for, he decided to not share his position anymore, right? For being up, okay, it doesn't show here. I'll quickly see. It doesn't show here either. This is just the year up $10 million, something like that, but that's not too impressive. For being up, I think $30 million, something like that, on just main positions. He yesterday shared that here at 86,000, this is the first time in a while that Bitcoin feels very nice for me to add to the long-term accumulation. Bitcoin trades as a high beta risk asset on shorter time frames when equities are weak, but long-term, it continues to decouple upward as the world's choice of digital gold with increasingly scarce supply. Don't make the mistake of confusing the 2 investment timeframes when deciding to stack. And here's the idea. On the short term, you may get absolutely wrecked buying any sort of thing. On the long term, I don't think you can be that wrong. And this is, again, my personal thoughts on the matter. This is, again, the 10th of the 10th. What a freaking crazy day that was, huh? I still remember it vividly. Yeah. Regardless. So that was a thing I wanted to quickly cover from 𝗕𝗫'_'s side. Again, one of the best public traders, at least, from the last cycle. This cycle, I've not really seen him say too much. The last cycle used to be a freaking goat. And then we have on the opposite side here as well, 𝗓𝗏, at least known for making a couple tens of millions of dollars publicly, but more so known for just being on everything and being the class of 2014, but just being on things. He said it feels very tough to see this as capitulation due to the fact that so many funds are in profit heading into the end of the year. There's little incentive to knife catch plus step in front of this relentless selling and potentially give back carry. Crypto feels like we're approaching a near-term bottom, but equities, who knows? And again, it feels like crypto can't go that much lower anymore. 77K for BTC seems like achievable. But I'm going to say also, just honest truth, if that does not hold, it's starting to become really, really tough. And even at these prices, at, the 70s of the range, as we get closer and closer toward MicroStrategy's buy-in price, there's always going to be some figures who want to sell this off. And here's EV. He said, my market prediction, MicroStrategy will collapse because of the biggest Ponzi scheme. It already started to crash. The whole model is hyper-leveraged Bitcoin exposure. This will be FTX 2.0. BlackRock plus major institutions will keep unloading, which is untrue. BlackRock is not an institution that sells Bitcoin for their own personal good. Remember, Larry Fink, 2 things. 1, he's bullish on these cryptocurrency things. And second of all, he talked about the tokenization of everything on-chain. They're not against crypto. The same for Trump. They're making too much money off of this. They're not against crypto. Remember, Eric Trump says buy freaking ETH. Then it went from 3,400 to 1,500, and then it went to 5K. Remember, it was a journey, and they didn't really stop the freaking fall, but they were also there for the rise. BlackRock, similarly, they're recommending their clients to get a percentage exposure to Bitcoin. If you think they actually wanted to go to zero, I think you're freaking, think of a nice word. I think you're mistaken. I don't want to call you a freaking retard. So BlackRock plus major institutions will keep unloading. Also, partially not true about the major institutions part. What institution would like to sell at 50% lower than where we were at just a few weeks ago? A lot of them don't want to. A lot of them, depending on what profit they're in, will just hold through, or they'll sell at break even probably or slight profit at the end. But probability is quite low for that. They answer to massive clients, pension funds, and boards. They can't bag hold through a full capitulation. I think the majority of those had sold a long time ago. I don't think there's that much of these institutions anymore that are waiting to sell off. They either wanted to sell off and they did it quickly when the market flipped down a little bit, or they won't. When liquidity thins and volatility spikes, the big boys de-risk fast, not slowly. Yes, which is what already most likely happened then, because otherwise you're talking about them doing it slowly. If fear spreads, the dominoes fall quick, forced liquidations, derivatives unwinding, and over-leveraged players blowing up one by one. Bookmark this. And, well, I'm going to tell you right now, if MicroStrategy falls, I honestly do not know what will happen to us. Some people said Bitcoin would go sub 1K. Well, I'm going to say right now that it kind of feels like this. Hold me here. What it feels like, honest truth, is exactly like every single bottom crypto's ever seen. If we're talking about what the crypto market feels like right now, it's exactly like every bottom feels. Emotions, zero. Right? Not zero emotions, just my level of emotions right now is at zero. Everything is pessimistic. Feels like a bottom. Stocks doing shit, crypto kind of following along without real proper reason. Kind of feels like bottom. Kind of feels like garbage. Kind of feels like, why is that happening? The worst month in a row, just everything being bad and bad and bad without any real good reason. Feels like a bottom is close. But more importantly, and this is the key of it all, once people start saying, trust me, this will be FTX 2.0. This will go to zero. Zero, I tell you. Let me find this little video.
Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
In a microsecond. Whoop, like that. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, it is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me, Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. Bitcoin will go to...
Whenever these characters pop up left and right, and they say, oh, because of this, because of that, or MicroStrategy is going to fail because of that, you need to remember most people are wrong when it comes to all this. I think, you know what? But just our thinking, our thoughts are not too relevant no more. We're down bad tremendously, ladies and gents. In the grand scheme of things, you want to know a funny thing? In the grand scheme of things, we're not doing that bad. Remember, for anybody who's stuck with me through the channel or on the channel here for a while, you're probably up tremendously on your money because XRP was my main coin of choice, and it's still at like $2, and I basically permanently bought it at 50 cents. So, I mean, I've still got a good penny left. It's not about that. It's about the fact that the niceness of the run is not there no more. I wake up, looking at my portfolio. This is over. All right, every single time I look at my portfolio, it's like with a little bit of extra sweat, making me almost think of ripping my shirt. I feel like itches everywhere. It's starting to change. All right, this is completely opposite in just a matter of weeks. Ever since 10 to the 10th, man, it's different. And some of y'all who don't have any leverage, you can't feel this freaking feeling of probably, unless you put your last dime into crypto and it's just going down a tremendous amount. But yeah, it's an interesting market, man. I'm gonna just put it out there. It's an interesting market right now. Let me also quickly find I've lost the chat box somewhere, boys. Oh, here we go. I found it again. All right, there we go. Let's see what you guys are saying. Also, all of y'all is wondering, I'm still just DCAing into coins. But at some point, right, it's just like with your PP, if you think about it, right? At some point, right, you might be pushing, you ain't got no more to give. In this case here, this dip, if it's a dip that keeps on dipping, at some point, what money can you use to buy the freaking dip, all right? At some point, it's just over, and you just have to accept it. And you just have to let go of all your emotions. Let go of everything and just accept whatever they make happen. I've not gotten to that point. I've still got a couple of schmeckles to buy that dip. I still got a little bit left. But at some point, we're just going to start praying. All right? We're just going to start praying, do nothing else, and just pray that these coins actually go up. But, oh, man, you know, this has been the worst month financially I've ever seen. I can't describe how bad it is. If you look at any one of my accounts, I think some of you could write a whole book about what I'm seeing right now. It is atrociously bad. It is so ridiculous. But I'll tell you a fun little fact. I've had the exact same thing multiple times over. And every single time, you build from that loss. You learn almost nothing, but you build from the loss, and next time it gets better. And what I mean with that is if I look back at 2018, look back at, actually there have been almost any one of these years where you make a tremendous loss. It's not like it's exclusive to bear market. No, bull markets are also kind of, damn, now that I'm thinking about it. Remember also one more thing. You know the whole Luna situation? You know it only lasted 8 weeks, a whole downturn. Right now we're at 6.5 weeks of down, or maybe 7 already by this point. You know the Luna, the whole crash, the whole situation took about 8 weeks. So for all of you putting into perspective, thinking a market has to go into bear market territory and do like that for months in a row, not necessarily. It took about 2 months for the market to do something good again. Here, it's a possibility too that just this is the worst, like today, right now, this second, and we just start going well again from here. It's not that just because the market's going down for a while that we need to go to freaking zero. It's not a necessity. Dusty, do you have crackers for breakfast now, brother? You think I'm still taking breakfast? My routine right now, wake up, all right? Dust off my cardboard box. I don't really need to put up the bed no more because it's like a slide in, slide out type of thing, right? There's no real, clothing or things to set straight. Just make sure my cardboard box is in a safe spot. Sometimes take away a couple of drips from the top and sometimes remove. Depending on how busy my street is, depending on if I can do some proper begging there or not, I relocate the cardboard box. And that's my day-to-day right now. Breakfast depends on who's willing to give, Whenever I wake up and I see some sandwiches laying around, something, so just grab one or two, like those half-eaten things. Pretty nutritional still. But, of course, depends on the street. Our coins are just so freaking cooked. Our coins are so freaking cooked. Bitcoin back down to 81. Look at this. Back down to 81. Ethereum back down to 2660. XRP to 185. Look at this. What's the worst performer today? Every single coin is down today. There's not a single one that's up. Let's see. Worst is Telcoin down 25%. Canton down 21%. Injective down 20%. EtherFi down 20%. Yeah. There was never a single altcoin season this year, huh? This season. Oh, you say you don't want to see it? All right, we're not going to watch it no more. Yeah. Oh, did I not showcase anything? Did I not just show all CoinMarketCap? Maybe I had the wrong camera selected. So for anybody who does not want to see, close your eyes for like 20 seconds. And ears. So yeah, I was showing that no coin was up right now. Literally zero. Everything is in the red, with the worst being minus 25%. On the hourly, things are also pretty garbage. Let me just quickly say. And throughout the whole entirety of everything is just down. BTC down, ETH down, XP down. Yeah. Guys, we are exactly 1 week away from Black Friday. Oh, it's just a Black Friday sale. I thought people were actually getting rid of their cryptos, but it's a Black Friday sale. So that basically means that this is all not really real. It just means that we are getting a discount for Black Friday. That makes so much sense. And I was worried for a while, but now that I've realized this, that Black Friday is just 7 days away. That does put me on the spot. I can return my costume again to work at McDonald's. This is good. They really had me worried there for a second, all right? Wow. That is good. By the way, little side note. You know what I was about to order? Don't ask me why. Don't ask any questions. Don't ask me any single question. Just accept what I'm about to show you. All right? Don't ask anything. None of you will ever get an answer as to why I was almost ordering this. But you can see. Yep. I almost ordered a nice little hot dog costume. Yep. I wanted you to know that. I wanted you to know that. Do with this information as you please, all right? But, yeah, I wonder what is the deal? I guess we're getting like a 70% off or so for Black Friday. Whoever does not want to see charts, close your eyes again. Now, one beautiful thing in this whole array of sadness and darkness, all right? If I keep watching this, I'll turn to the freaking dark side. I'm happy I'm with y'all, though. All right, every single one of you watching, you're keeping me comfortable. If I was alone right now, I'd be a lot more scared. But for some reason, having y'all with me watching this, it does me a little bit of good. Because, oh boy, is this awful to watch. But at least I know that somebody out there is hating this probably more than me. Even though they might be losing less money, they're looking at this with even more distraughtness. That's doing me good. I want to quickly say, though, that besides all that, just honest truth here, we have been doing pretty well in the trades. Like, these are the trades that just came out in a group here just 2 minutes ago. If you want, right, I actually said only people that are in our Telegram can join and check them out. Here are the trades we put up, though, in our Telegram. So in case you did not want to join, you just want to see what we put up. These are three of the trades we just opened up right now. And unfortunately, there are even more shorts. On the one hand, I really, really do hope they're wrong. But Bitcoin now falling below 81,000. Yeah, a lot of people are calling for even further market movements down, huh? Yep. It's a sad world we live in, boys, but it is what it is. Fun fact. What is this? Wait, let me quickly share it with y'all. Let me also go back to this. Bitcoin dropped below 81,000 just now. I wonder what's happening here. Why? How does this work? I'm gonna share it in my alerts group. This is a different group. I'm just gonna share it just so. Okay, I shared it quickly in the group, just because I'm confused as to why this is happening. I placed some shorts, but why is it so high? So these are the things I opened up just now. You can see I opened a short at 190, but for some reason, it is 2,800% in the profit. I don't know why. And for BTC here, I open it at 82K, let's say, right now 81. Why is it 800% of the plus? So how does that work? And if you may be wondering, Dusty, why do you open up shorts? Oh, well, because sometimes you just got to wing it for the biscuit. I'm not selling any of my coins. But if my analyst says sometimes it's good to short, I short. So that's what I said before with the Telegram's, let's quote unquote, signals. It goes against my principles, but it's okay. In love and warfare, everything is okay, right? And right now, we can call this the freaking battlefield. This is I don't even know if we can call it that anymore. This is a freaking slaughter field. Now, again, this is just a matter of being able to hold the freaking line and not give up. But oh boy, can it be hard to do that. Oh boy. Nobody said it was going to be easy to hold the freaking line, huh? And I can confirm right now, it ain't. But I can eat some pineapple, though. Another point. Good point. Depending on how long you've been in, when you zoom out, you're still in the green big. I'm still in the green tremendously big. But the 10th of the 10th did knock my whole net worth down by some crazy numbers. And this is just not helping it. Also, today's the day thousands of leverage traders finally realize they never win. I disagree with you, my friend. Actually, I would argue that leverage traders throughout history have won. And almost every single extremely rich person you know has won off of leveraged anything. What you're talking about potentially is extremely high-risk leverage trading. That does not work, maybe. But the majority of people at the top have won off of leveraging things. You know, any real estate mogul probably got rich off of leverage, most likely. Not all of them, but 99% of them. Any really big company always got really big by leveraging debt in that sense. And again, what is debt? Essentially, still, it's a leverage of something, right? Because you're using something to gather something that you don't actually have, which is taking an essential risk. That's also why debt is called risk in that sense. In calculation form, debt may be risk. So I'm not sure if I agree with that. And essentially, it's also like this. You know, if you look at Soros and all those guys, they made it off of leverage. It's a matter of, if you're right, you're really freaking right. And if you're wrong, you're really freaking wrong. Interesting. Chelsea says, open or short, still getting cooked. Can't win. Yeah, this volatility is out of this world. This is crazy behavior right now. Remember, though, you can always join our Telegram group. Link is down below. Completely free, by the way. But we have been pretty freaking accurate. And I wonder why not more people are joining. I mean, I thought if I make it free, it would be a nice little thing. You see, this is also why sometimes people say, you need to make things pay. I will not. I'm just saying, you need to make things paid. Because then people appreciate it more. I'm putting thousands of dollars, and it's something so good. And everybody's like, we'll skip it. I'm showing you the results of how good things have been. And people are like, we'll skip this. Bit crazy to me. But regardless, people do what they want to do, right? I'm like, it's such a good opportunity. Why are people not taking it? Any single person, if you're watching, if you're losing money, you're stupid. Should have listened to me. No, it's too cocky to say. But I will say again, the last couple of days, I'm getting cooked to my main bags, but I'm making tons of profit, and I literally shared everything for everybody to follow along. That's why I said before. I made a video where I said, okay, I will not say that. I will just say it like this. It's not like it's a bad couple of days for me. Matter of fact, the profit's been pretty sizable. Almost everything has been doing pretty well. First link in the description down below, by the way. Oh, then again, man, what a tiresome week this has been. And it's going to be a long-ass week, depending on how market's going on. You know what I'm also thinking, boys and gal? I may just want to grab a freaking game console and just play a freaking game. Maybe I just don't want to watch the crypto market no more. And just take some minutes off. Take it like an hour or two off. Instead of watching the screen like this. This is how I usually am. I wake up and I start watching the screen like this for about, 16 hours a day. Maybe I should take some time off. Go look at like flowers or something. I don't know. Like, what do you guys do when the market's down tremendously? What do you do, huh? Up or down, crypto makes this boring world fun. You, my friend, are a maniac. But I like it. You have a good freaking point. Anyway, I do believe still that my best course of action is just shutting the frick up, not selling any coins. I know they want to get me out. They're not getting me. Screw all of them. And sure, nobody said it was going to be easy, but that's also what makes it so much fun, right? That's what makes it challenging. That way it makes us better than the rest potentially at the end because we're able to get over it. Gym, I already went today. I actually play 𝗓𝗫 when I wake up and the markets are down like this. I actually downloaded the new game, Vampire Survivors. I played it for 1 hour last night. Ryan Doss is Dusty. What's up, brother? We're not brothers anymore, my friend. We're not even acquaintances. None of y'all helped me when I got into my freaking little cardboard box, huh? Now coming back to say what's up, brother? No. Pimp says new game. Well, not new game. New game for you, right? I'm joking, by the way. We're all still good. At the end of the day, we'll get over this together. It's a hurdle. It's not going to be fun. But at the end, I think it'll all be worth it. And also, one more last thing I'll say with Telegram is if you join the Telegram or you're in it, some people share some nice profit screenshots. Just understand this. It's not like every single thing will pop off, right? It's just, I'm starting to do this. I've got a few different analysts already that are hiring full-time, people I'm paying every single day, or every month, I guess. But they're all kind of doing like not that much for y'all, mostly just for me and for some different things. I'm like, what if they just share a lot of their theses in different groups on Telegram, like in the same group but in different subjects, and just share whatever trade they would have taken, and maybe over the next couple of weeks to get more and more people in, not you people, but like for my people. So you get like different analyses, different updates, different trades, different things. And hopefully we can learn from that. Hopefully we can profit off of that because thus far they're pretty accurate most of the time. And I'm thinking even if they end up being wrong sometimes, which they are, it's still profitable over time, very much so. As long as you're playing with proper risk management, it should be quite nice. That's why I decided to share a lot of this. And partially also because right now they're mostly into shorting. I think they started shorting like a few months, maybe a month or two ago. I realized it's also nice to have some people that are more bearish on the market come up. And actually, my main analyst, which you're seeing on Twitter all the time, he's a very, very big bear. He's been like that for a long time, talking about $1.70 in XRP. I always used to scold him. And now you see he was pretty right, huh? All along. But anyway, who knew that? Anyway, boys, if you've not pressed that like button yet, make sure you do so. If you're asking me when to buy more coins, screw you, all right? I told you before. Any man should understand what I'm talking about. Unless there's a few of y'all that don't. But I'm going to say most of y'all remember this. So, you've only got a certain amount of freaking width, all right? Length, whatever you want to call it. You've only got a certain amount of breadth. You can only, this is like talking along the lines. You can only stick it in so deep until you've got nothing left. So if we're talking about this dip, you can only buy so much before you just have no more PP, purchasing power, all right? And so if you're asking me, when should we buy? My brother, this when should we buy? This is long faded. All I'm doing now is just coping. And funnily enough, I've increased my shorts, I've increased my longs, and it's starting to make things interesting. Mr. Shaw says, I'm stressed out, man. I'm down more than 20K. My brother, a little humble flex for you, right? This is a humble, and the most humble flex way I can tell you this. If I was just down $20,000, you would not even know because I'm down $20,000 probably every minute. Maybe more than, it's $20,000. And this is the nice thing. There's a reason for I'm saying this. I look at me being down millions of dollars in a day, and I look, okay, I compare myself to this freaking goat. Let me quickly show it to you again. To this freaking goat who is down $61 million in 10 days. And you realize there's levels to this. If you're down 20K, realize that this $20,000 you can do a lot of things with. It's a lot of freaking money, all right? I'm not an idiot. I understand that the money is all, $20,000 is a lot of money. But I counter that by saying it's relative. Because if this guy were to be down $20,000, we'd probably not see a post about it. If I was down $20,000, you'd probably not see me talking about it at all because that means not that much to me. But think about it like this. You stressing out over $20,000 right now just means you got to work freaking harder so that eventually, once you're down $200,000, you have the same problem. And eventually, once you're down 2 million, you have the same problem. And eventually, hopefully, once you're down 10 million, you have the same problem. It's all part of the process. Right now, you're stressing out over whatever money you're down. I understand it. I was probably stressing out over being down $100 years ago, right? Maybe, I'm not sure. But you get the idea. It's all levels to this game. This guy would probably not even stress over being down $1 million. Maybe don't take everybody's advice on this, by the way. Oof. Okay. Maybe don't touch any drinks. Don't touch anything like that. Stay sober. Stay with it. I think also the stress. It has some nice part. Whoa! Holy bounce! Bitcoin going from the bottom of 81K to almost 83K just now. XP going from 183 to 187. Ethereum from 26 some to 2710. Okay, we're bouncing. Okay, you know what time it is, boys? It's time to eat, and this is always my favorite part of the week. I don't take anything sugary or sweet, except for these things. I do not know who designed this thing, like the little coffee bread type of thing. Whoever designed this, he deserves something, right? This little combination of things. I don't know what the name is of this in English. I think it's like coffee bread. But this thing is my Achilles heel. Open a chart. No, I don't want to. Okay. Let me open up some charts. $2.2 billion worth of liquidations, by the way. And, thank you, TradingView. Thank you for giving me 80% off on my worst day ever in my life. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Now you're $60 a month. Again, all right. By the way, I have a link for TradingView down below if you, you want this discount. Yeah. I've told you before, I do believe still that it is oversold. Oh, this is doing me good. Just a side little question. You guys get white glaze on this thing? Whoever said that just now, never speak to me again. You're missing your white glaze on your little bakery thing. What? I'm missing my white glaze? All right. Whatever. They're trapping me, boys. Oh, my God, they're trapping me. They want me to open a freaking long right now. Oh, no. Don't do this to me now. No. This volatility, man, this is crazy. This is what makes people mad. Have you ever met a mad person? Somebody's like completely lost it. He probably was watching this chart. He was probably just out there enjoying the freaking carnage that is the cryptocurrency market. Because what in the world is happening here? Chao says, go long. My brother, you are a bad influence. All right, get back. Never speak. Don't say that to me now, because you know I will do it. And you know how that's going to turn out. Close that short, Dusty. I know, bitch. Ma. I stay with it. Let's see a live trade. Screw that. My analyst was supposed to come on in, but I think something happened to his, well, I guess let's not say what happened to him. Let's not expose him. But there was supposed to be an analyst on this live stream as well. But he's only available after 1.5 more hours because of some personal issues. New trending tweet. Pause. Two, one. Luckily, after losing like $5 million, I can trade or can get TradingView Premium for 70% off. What a deal! I can get it for 80% off. Was it, guys? Was it 80 or 70% that I just got? I forgot already. My memory ain't that good. Did I not just get 80? Was it 70% only? I thought it was 80%. Oh, whatever. But is this one right here? Carrie says, I can't stand the sound of you chewing. Please stop. Man, you guys need to find bigger freaking problems in this world. I never get that. You know, one of the first companies I ever started, my co-founder also was a person who could not stand people eating. And out of all the problems in the world, you decide to pick a problem with one of the most natural sounds ever. Imagine you sitting with 7 grown-ass men in a room, and somebody says, I'm sorry, but everything we're doing right here, this is all good now. We're changing the world, the lives of 10,000 people. But you chewing right there, you eating? Nah, this is doing it for me. I'm quitting right now. I'm going home. Right? You eating right now? Just that thing everybody does, everybody needs to do? Nah, that's too much. I'm going home. I quit. What do you mean you can't stand the sound of somebody eating? Get over it! My friend, come on. I really, by the way, to each their own. But what do you people decide to make problems with? I actually can't stand the sound of people eating. Like, come on, brother. Just accept it. Just don't be a little whiny ass. Just accept the sound of somebody eating. Regardless, I got distracted. I was going to show you this. This little headline from CZ is going viral again. This is in 2020. Waiting for the new headline. Bitcoin crashes from 101K to 85,000. Save the tweet. Well, I want to say he had to make this tweet happen. I'll just post something like that. I wanted to say that he made it happen in the end, but I don't know. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to get unfollowed by CZ, you know? CZ's the master, brothers. Can't. Oh! Oh! We are grave dancing right now. You know, we just got absolutely rinsed. Like the rinsest of rinsed I've ever gotten rinsed. Oh yeah, by the way, I'll say one more thing. Guys, stream every day. If I miss a day, you guys get some money from me. Why? I need to lock the frick in. One day no stream means one day I did not live. Any person who stops by here every single day, if I remember your name after the next couple of weeks, I'll reward every single one of you. All right? The loyal viewers, I'm going to grab a little budget, depending on if we go to like $40,000 of Bitcoin, you guys are getting nothing because then I'm more broke than you, all right? You're going to have to feed me. But if the market does recover, goes out, I don't care. As long as you don't go to freaking zero, every single person who watches these streams daily, I know you guys may have things to do, but stopping on by and just pressing that like button is good enough to me. I'll try to make it more of a logical time. I'm going to grab some budget. It may only be a couple $1,000s, maybe a couple tens of $1,000s. I do not know yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Depends on how good the market does. Going to reward every single one of you who stops on by and who's a loyal viewer, but also it's a promise to myself. This market, all right, this is not good, but at least we're together. So at least there's a chance for us. And by the way, if you did not know, if you're watching a stream of mine, I will always have a little blanket. It's like a little thing that that some of you guys may know now. I always have a little blanket. Daily streams, daily stream, daily motherfucking stream, every day. If I did not stream, something happened to me. Check up on the police. I check those freaking websites to see what happened to a little crypto. Hopefully nothing happened to me, because if I'm not streaming, something happened. All right, I'm gonna be here every freaking day, no rest. All right, because I need some place here to get my mind in order. If I'm not streaming, and I right now be just on my freaking phone playing this little vampire game because I'm addicted right now, it would get bad. Let's see here. News. Fed Williams still sees room for near-term rate cut. Okay, so maybe, could that be the thing? I don't think so, but hey, it's interesting. Traders now think the Fed will cut. Boys, so it's changing. So right now, potentially this market pump was caused by something in the Fed rate cuts. Right now, everything on my timeline, because I have a lot of notifications on Twitter, everybody's talking about the fact that Fed Williams came out and sees a near-term rate cut, and that the odds of a rate cut are now ridiculously high again. Matter of fact, on, I think, FOMC website, or which website? Fed rate cut odds for the 10th of December just spiked to 66%. And then maybe that's one of the pieces. By the way, just because we've gone up a little bit doesn't mean the market is back. If it was back, you would see me do a completely different dance. Matter of fact, you see me break my entire freaking wall. Every single one of these things right here, they'll get broken. If all of a sudden XRP goes back above $2, matter of fact, $2, I'm still destitute. I'm still not doing it again. If XRP goes back, if Bitcoin goes back above $100,000, I'm breaking every motherfucking thing in sight. But we're not in that good. Okay. Whoever said I'm waiting for 100K to short, I want to show you something really funny. But I don't want to get away from this. Okay, I'm going to show you this really funny thing just for 1 second. All right, this is Connor's post, but it was actually whoever said I'm waiting for that level to short. This one here. Push Bitcoin down to where everyone thinks it's the bottom, so they buy. Push it down more, so they buy the dip. Push it down more, so they buy again, the dip with the dip. Push it down one more time, so they think, okay, this got to be it, right? Maybe it's over. One more time down, so they're like, okay, one last down and it's over. Down again, so they sell at a loss because you're little whiny asses. Down again, and they say, see, I was right. Down again, so they start to short. Down again, they 10x to short. They're like, oh, I got to short this big. Down again, they say, I'm a genius. I knew it. The market pumps, they add leverage to the short. Pumps again, time for a 100x short, and then liquidation, rinse and repeat. A lot of y'all are like this. The moment that come on. All right, that's what I'm talking about, baby. I'm grave dancing right now. I know it. All right, we're talking about a freaking 2-hour reversal. We're back to prices we saw 2 hours ago. But again, sometimes you got to take your W's where you can take them. This is the first time in a long ass time, in like 24 hours to me it feels like, that we are finally able to make a little higher high. All right, again, I'm grave dancing. But look at this. This is the first time throughout all this process that it's not just freaking down only. Does this mean that the market is safe? No. All right? No. I love you, Dusty, but you've got a touch of the tism, bro. All right. Is that bad? Think with me here. Is that a bad thing? Maybe I gotta go gym again. Maybe I just gotta go again. What else am I gonna do here? I'm bored. I don't want to look at the charts no more. It's not bored. It's insecure. All right. I don't know. I don't want to do anything irrational. But the more I'm watching this chart and the more I'm streaming right now, the more it's making me want to do something really, really crazy and just go for the bottom. Right? Oh, How much are we up already? 6% from the bottom. Holy crap. I was not going to catch that falling knife though. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, Jose. Like I know my worth. I'm not catching any one of these things. I'm just going to sit comfortably and realize, nah, you know what? I was thinking about it. I was really, they got me thinking about opening something. I'm not doing nothing. Because honest truth, PTLs, I have no freaking idea what's happening now no more. I mean, I bought some Bitcoin, just spot, in this spot. I'm pretty comfy with that. But remember, guys, I am down so tremendously much. And my friends, some of my friends that are doing way better, they're saying, what's wrong with you? Because of some of the actions I'm taking. Because at first, I was just leveraging up and leveraging up, leveraging up, going crazier and crazier and crazier. Right now, fun fact. You know those shorts I just shared with you? They're in massive loss already, by the way. Little fun fact. If I were to keep them open. But I was going to say, right now I'm thinking it's not that wise to keep accumulating more and more and more of my positions. It's just better to, of course, not make that much money if the market were to pump. But also, most importantly, just not do so bad if we were to dump further. Or if MicroStrategy got wrecked or something like that. I'm just in a comfy spot right now. If everything goes to crap, I'm going to hate my life. But I'm still okay. Whereas if I keep upping it up and up and up and up it, I kind of think, right, we'll be able to be fine. We'll make a ton of money. But do I want to risk it for the biscuit? Because as of this point, I'm pretty comfy where we're at. And by the way, remember, this 181 for XRP, with the amount of XRP I hold, this move right here is down so much money. 5% off of, let's say, each $1 million. 5% is $50,000. For just a freaking couple of minutes right here, we're up. Also, my buys for Bitcoin yesterday at 87 are tremendously down. Should have averaged those out a bit. Let's see here. It's just a patient. It's a game of patience. Coddle says, bro thinks this was the bottom. No, I think it might be a local. I mean, it was a local bottom. So yeah, I never said it was the bottom of the run. But and then, like I just told you, this, you know how much money you can make off of a move like this? It's 5%. So with some leverage, I'm just saying in theory, some leverage, it's going to have been a lot of money you made off of this move. And just now we said, oh, should we long it? That was at what? 84, 83? So we could have still taken roughly 4% or so profit over this move. Now, again, we're back at the top. We've recovered. So now it's, again, no man's land. But it could have been a nice opportunity. I'm not saying the bottom is in. No, if that was so, you think I'd be here? Oh, no. I'd be screaming at the top of my lungs if something happened that changed the course of everything. No, the problem is that this, to me, feels like nothing. It feels... Oh, man. You know what? You know what? We're just done of crying. I'm just done with all this crying. I don't want to be a bitch no more. We just accept it like men. Also, have some of you guys been watching my shorts? Not like the shorts, your underpants. I just mean like the shorts on my channel, my YouTube channel. Are they nice? Do you think they're useful? Are they really annoying? I want some feedback from actual people. Because nobody's really commenting on the shorts. There's a few, but not just about the shorts themselves. Not about, is it too much? Is it annoying? Is it good, bad? If you've not been watching, please give them a little view. And let me know afterwards if you think it's okay or you prefer less or you prefer more of them. Because to me, it's kind of funny. But I, of course, don't want to do anything that's going to upset the peoples. To give some context, let me see. One that I thought was... let me see. What was this one? Let me see. The crypto market is crap. Okay, well, you heard the start at least. Crashing like crazy. But at the same time, I just signed off on one of the biggest and craziest deals I will ever get to. I'm starting a whole new adventure, and I'm really excited for it. No more showing up in my bathrobe. That time is gone. It's time to get more serious. As I feel really proud to say, ladies and gentlemen, that I got officially hired at McDonald's. Will that be all for your order, sir? The crypto market is... Okay, it's not done that well because I just wanted to spend only like 1 minute on it. But if I did that better, it could have been pretty funny, no? If I took my time to make more a cosplay effort. There was an attempt, all right? I know execution lacked a bit of power, a little magnetism. But the idea was pretty nice, right? Come on, you got to give that one to me. Why no Waffle House? I've never been to a Waffle House in my life. I don't even know what a Waffle House looks like, but, you know, I've been to McDonald's. The only problem is I need to buy like a lot of this stuff, like McDonald's apparel. I need to be dripped out of McDonald's. But where the frick in the world do you buy McDonald's apparel? It's not as easy as you think. I got to maybe steal it from like a, you know what I do? I go to the McDonald's. I give them $30 to give me their hat. Or I change it up, change the scheme, and I just go something even significantly more crazy. All right, think with me here. What if I, instead of buying a McDonald's hat, I go the extra mile? Again, I don't get a McDonald's hat. I just get something a bit crazier. How about we go for something like this? Think with me now. All right, keep thinking. What do you guys think of this? Apparently, I can get a 2-in-1 combo. I don't just get myself the chicken hat. I also get myself the chicken hat. What do you guys think of that? I'm just saying the quiet parts out loud, guys. All right? I'm just saying whatever needs to be said that I don't want you to know. No, but I've been looking for a McDonald's hat. I've been looking in different countries too. But it's kind of hard to find. How does one, maybe not on Amazon, McDonald's hat buy. Apply McDonald's, work one day, and take the uniform home. I don't know. I'm not sure if you've ever been to the UAE, maybe you have. You realize that to get hired at McDonald's might actually be a bit of a task. And I'm not going all the way to Netherlands. I mean, I would. I've been looking on Netherlands Amazon as well. And I'm looking at Belgian one. I can look everywhere. Look at Spanish, Mexico. Yeah, I'm not going all the way to a different country just to try and get hired by McDonald's. Oh? Okay, this is going to take a long time to get to UAE, I think, this website, because I think it's US. I found a place where I can buy these things, though. So if anybody wants to donate their McDonald's cap, yeah, I've got a nice little address for you. Hooters outfit. I've also never been to Hooters. What's going to happen when the market opens? Yeah. So the market opens in what? Hour and a half? Breaking news. Let me see. Oh, we already covered this. Fed Williams says the market seems to be very bullish on it. Let me see. Is there any? See here. No. Fed. Let's see. I'm looking for Fed Williams' speech thing, but it might be over.
S&P Global Manufacturing Service Composite PMI at 10.
Who is this?
10 o'clock. It's 𝗂𝘁'𝘀 sentiment, also wholesale inventories. That is.
I'm just looking to see if they had Fed Williams on. Or, I mean, is it a live event of sorts, or is it just announcements coming out? Because it says right here, if you go back, Fed Williams speech, Fed Mayron speech, all these, right? And supposedly he's still going on for like what, half an hour? Where do you watch this? Can it even be watched, or is it something behind closed doors? Because none of the places I'm opening up right now seem to be showcasing this. It's not on YouTube at all. Let's see what you guys are saying. Emergency Fed meeting 2 p.m. EST. Let's see if that's true or not. I'm not seeing any of that. Bro, it's true. Brother, if there's one thing in this world that I do not believe, it is my YouTube chat. I love you as an individual, but I don't know where you got your information from. So I always have to triple check it. Not double check. No, I'm talking triple check because I don't believe none of y'all. None of y'all. All right, maybe Jane, maybe like 1 or 2 characters in there. All right, but most of y'all, I'm not believing nothing, brother. No, you better tell me where it came from. Or you're going right back into the bin of, that's what somebody told me. If I were to believe everything that's stated in here, my brother, oh boy, would I have a box of stories for y'all, all right? But no, I can't find it. Not true for right now. I'm seeing people post about it. You know, it's not like I don't see it. I can. But where is he getting his information from? That's my question at hand here. Or is this just what we're talking about here? So, no, because they're saying 2 p.m. EST. None of these are 2 p.m. EST by a long shot. But, so again, just a question. Do y'all know if we can see these speeches anywhere? Because they're not marked red. Nobody seems to care about them. But also, I cannot find them for the love of me. Fed Mayron. I mean, there are some speeches out there, but this is like nothing interesting. A policymaker's view of financial stability, Governor Lisa D. Cook. No. Ask AI. Some of you are actually freaking smart. I'm not sure. You didn't just ask AI and tell me, but I can do that actually. Use AI for something actually. My days. That's the smartest thing I've. Somebody just told me, and oh my days. Okay, let's do this. There we go. AI also lies. Yeah, but at least he may have an idea of where to watch the freaking video or stream. Okay. Go to Federal Reserve. Okay. Nah, it's not there. It's just the FOMC from last month. And it's just the FOMC from last month. I'm gonna scold AI. Oh shit. What do we prompt? I don't know. I'm not a good. Let's see what he's coming up with. I couldn't look at a publicly live stream. Yabba dabba dabba doo. Oh. The Federal Reserve's YouTube channel. Let's see. No, also only Jerome Powell from last week. Nah, we're cooked. Nothing. No links to nothing, unfortunately. We can see that it's happening, but we can't click it, so. Yeah, such is life, such is life. And by the way, for all of y'alls, if you're watching the stream right now, you've not pressed that like button yet, what's stopping you from doing that? It's a good question. We've had about 3,500 people stop on by and say hi, right? Which is pretty crazy to me. That's a lot of people. But throughout that process, if you've not pressed that like button yet, what are you really waiting for, my friend? And also, I think we're at the 1.5 hour mark. I was going to wait until the opening of the market, but that's like an hour and a half away. Check Fed Watch. Yeah, this is crazy though, right? That the odds are changing so much by the second now. This was like 49 or something like that. Was it not 49 just yesterday? For the 10th of December? Now it's almost 70%. So this should be really, really bullish for the market. I'll make another video about it in a bit. Also, to everybody watching right now, you are the core of peoples, all right? I'm going to tell you right now, make sure you tune in every single day. Come on. Stick around. It will be worth it in the end. I've been here for almost 9 years every day, making videos, making streams. Some days I quit, right? Some days I did not make anything. But in general, I never quit more than I think 5 days is the maximum I've ever taken off. Always, I remember, like 8 years ago, I used to go on vacation. And you know how awkward it was? Because as you may remember, I did not show my face for many years on this channel, right? The first 6 years or something like that, I think I did not show my face. You want to know a fun fact about that? I went on vacation with people who had no idea I was this persona. And at the start, like maybe in 2017, I used to record a video for like the days I'd be on vacation. So I'd record a few videos already ahead of time, talking about like strategies and stuff. But after a while, I realized, if I record videos, I can only do that for like 2 days or something like that. Because afterwards, it's going to get old, right? You cannot report news ahead of time. It can only be strategy videos. But what if something happens? I need to be alert. And now I could have made it on my phone. Or now most people I go on a trip with, they will know I record these things because my face is out there now. Back then, it was not the case. You know how awkward it was that I had to make sure, because I also went on vacation with friends, I had to get a separate room. I had to be really sneaky about all these things, how I put my recording setup down and break it down when somebody were to enter the room and be they're like, what are you doing? I'm calling. You don't know the funny things that happened back then. But it's been a whole process throughout all these freaking years. And there have been many times where the market was so good, I felt so well, Marcus was doing so good, portfolio was doing good, just to get smashed in the face again with a nice round trip. But remember this, every single time it looked at the darkest, in reality, was the greatest opportunity. Just like right now, for example, the market. This feels so bad. And I'm not saying the market is going to recover from here, but this feels so bad. There's so much fear of MicroStrategy and stuff like that, that it feels we're closer towards the end of all this ridiculousness than the start. And I'm telling you right now, I personally still believe crypto is not going to zero. So I believe the top is coming in. You know, the top is still coming. And so all I'm doing is just sticking it through, right? I'm not sure the best way to say that, but just going for it. And yeah, lads, I'm going to cut this stream short, though, for right now. If you guys have pressed the like button, that's amazing. I'll come back maybe either in an hour, depending on what happens. Because remember, in 1 hour and 50 minutes, U.S. market opens, right? Stick around for that. Not here on the channel, but just, you know, be around. And most likely, I'll be back with another video explaining what happened today, explaining this move, explaining the odd change in the Fed. Going to be interesting. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video somewhere later today. Make sure you check out those shorts. And let me know down below if you like them or not. I really would appreciate your feedback. And again, I'll be streaming every single day for a while from now on. So hopefully you guys will stick around and I'll see you every day. And also, at least a couple of videos are coming out today. So yeah, it's going to be cool. Glad you guys came by to say hi and stop by, whatever. See you guys again in another one. Peace out, boys.